How to remove uric acid sa katawan? I would use baking soda.
Yes.
Okay. Just be careful with, wait honey, baking soda, just be careful with baking soda because most of them, they have aluminum. And aluminum is bad for you. Aluminum can lead to a lot of cancer and brain problems. Especially
such as dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's.
Alzheimer's and dementia, demented. Yes. So how come honey is not consumed by babies? Okay. Particularly in babies less than 2 years old. Are they considered babies?
Yeah.
I think they're still they're going on toddlers.
Baby going
right now.
into toddler.
Yeah. So if you are less than 2 years old, you cannot give it to a child. Why? Because of infantile botulism. So there's this bacteria, it's Clostridium botulinum, and it can cause infantile botulism, infantile paralysis. So floppy baby, like that. So, kasi yung sa katawan nila, they still cannot process that because their immune system is still immature. So, they cannot, not unlike us, okay? So, amenorrhea, sabi ni Carlton Cinco. Ano ba amenorrhea? What's amenorrhea? Means without menstruation. Okay, so you have to see first, baka mamaya menopause ka na. Now, if you're not menopause, probably there's a problem in the hormone. So you have to have that checked, your FSH, LH, okay? So if there's still no problem, you may try Damong Maria. That's my favorite, Damong Maria. Okay, so make it as a tea, as many as you can. It's very bitter. Again, for pregnant women, bawal sa inyo ang bitter herbs, okay? Because it can cause uterine contraction. So I don't allow the pregnant woman to drink bitter herbs, okay? But if you want to try other herbs, there are better herbs for the pregnant woman, just not the bitter herbs, because the bitter herbs can cause uterine contraction. It's abortifacient. Pwede kayong ma-abort. So, wag kayong iinom ng ganyan. And if you're planning to abort, masama yan. That's bad. That's bad. We have to cherish our lives because okay, garlic, ginger, and guyabano leaves. So those are my basic herbs, okay? Now, it depends. If you have diabetes, so you can use, in addition to that, you can use serpentina or insulin plant, okay? Now, if you are suffering from chronic kidney disease, Dr. Farrah protocol says you have to take baking soda. So 1 teaspoon 3 times a day in a limited amount of water, okay?
May help.
This may help, okay? So CKD, baking soda, 1 teaspoon 3 times a day in a limited amount of water. And do not take a lot of fruits because the fruits, they are rich in potassium, okay? Especially for patients who have kidney disease. Hindi pwedeng tumaas ang... No, friends. I'm sorry.
Friends
so especially for friends who have a chronic kidney disease, if your potassium increases, you will have a heart attack. So, pwede ko kayo magkaroon ng atake sa puso. You can have heart attack. So, it's better not to take in a lot of fruits or always check your potassium. So, our food protocol, it's very simple. Okay? Huwag niyo pa akong awayin. Don't be upset with me. So, this protocol I have used for 16 years. And I have so many success with using this food protocol. I have treated a lot of patients with this food protocol, and I can tell you, if you follow it, it's very difficult. If you follow it, it's gonna be beneficial to all of you. Okay, first thing foremost is that no sugary food. Okay, so kahit po prutas yan, even if it's fruits, even if it's a processed food or whatsoever, you are not allowed to touch it. Don't touch it, don't look at it,
Don't you ever smell it, okay? Because the cancer cells, they have 96 receptors for sugar. Well, the normal cells has 4 receptors for sugar. So imagine if you are a cancer patient and you are eating foods that are very, very sweet, your cancer cells are just eating, so they are growing. That's why it's very important not to eat foods that are rich in sugar. So when you talk about sugar, marami yan. You have your glucose, fructose, sucrose, diba? Galactose. Mamaya, I will discuss all of them. Okay, so if you're gonna eat any fruits, preferably the ones that is not rich in sugar. Okay, so wag po kayong kakain ng wag po kayong kakain ng matatamis. Okay, so that's it. Next is that you have to avoid packaged or processed food, okay? Especially tocino, diba? Dahil mga Pilipino, mahilig tayo sa tocino, sausage, okay? I remember when I was young, I would go to turo-turo, diba? May mga turo-turo tayo dyan, and then we would just eat, you know, the hot dogs there on stick. Actually, cancer on stick. Okay, they're very, very bad for us. They're rich in nitrates, and nitrates has been implicated in a lot of cancers, particularly stomach cancer. Okay, so do not eat packaged and processed food. They're not good for you. Okay, how about rice? Okay, this is the one that's very, very controversial because we are Filipinos, diba? We love rice. Okay, so if someone tells us, do not eat rice, you know, we are emotional with it. And I remember there was this politician who told us do not eat rice, and everyone was ganging up on her. Actually, what she is saying is actually simple, because rice, anything that is white bread, white pasta, okay, these are simple carbohydrates. And if you eat simple carbohydrates, they will be converted to sugar immediately, okay? Hindi sila katulad ng complex carbohydrates. So do not believe the hype, okay? If you're gonna tell me like, si Dr. Farrah, she would always ban all of these carbohydrates. That's not true. That's not true. I only ban simple carbohydrates for my patient, okay? And for all of my followers, okay? Back then, when I was in Phil, okay? Ito po ay nung nandun po ako sa Pilipinas. So, because here in the US, I'm not a licensed medical doctor here in the US yet. Okay, so you are not allowed to eat simple carbohydrates, okay? But complex carbohydrates, they're good for you, okay? So what are complex carbohydrates? Vegetables, yeah, fruits, yan. So again, fruits, wag matamis. Okay, so sana po nagkakaintindihan tayo dyan. How about milk? Diba? Meron tayo yung milk ng kalabaw, milk ng goat, ano? Especially in Phil, you know, when you're in Phil, everyone loves milk, you know, especially the milk that you get from the Carabao because they're so tasty, they're fatty, you know. Okay, this is my concern with milk. Okay, wag po kayo magagalit sa akin. This is my concern. Some of the milk in the market, they have a growth hormones. So the growth hormones, these are hormones that you take in. So pag tinake in mo siya, then it can cause growth also of cancer cells. So hindi po siya maganda. Okay? How about yung organic? Now this is another problem. Okay? When we grow older, as we grow older, at the age of 20 up until 50 years old, we actually lose an enzyme, okay, to process all this milk. It's called lactase. So that time we don't have any more enzyme, okay? So most of us, we are actually lactose intolerant. So if you have lactose intolerant, you're gonna have diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, yan. Okay ba, boss? Are you okay? Yeah, yun ang sabi ni boss. He's okay. So that's my take in on milk. How about almond milk? Okay. How about soya milk? Okay, majority of the foods out there, if you're familiar with GMO, that's another problem of us, your genetically modified organism, particularly with corn and soya, okay? This GMO, there was a research, okay? Are you okay, dude? Okay, there was a research about GMO. And these genetically modified organisms, what are these? These are organisms that have been genetically modified to suit a certain purpose. Okay, and what is the purpose? To not die. Okay, kasi usually if you plant them, they will have problems, right? So there's a lot of um, insects that would eat them, you know. So this is modified, they are modified genetically, so the insects will not eat them. Or the insects, yeah, genetic, okay? Pwede din na they will not freeze, okay? Like in tomatoes. Some here in the US, there are tomatoes here that, you know, they put a gene on it, so it will not freeze during winter, okay? So the problem is there was a research about this, research and experiment, and linking that these foods, GMO, they can cause cancer. Cancer, infertility, yan. So kaya maraming infertile sa atin, di ba? Nagtataka kayo, how come there's so many infertile right now? And I think one of the reason is genetically modified organism. So you have to be very careful with that, okay? So let me, I just caution you, okay? So it's really your decision if you wanna listen to me or not. Okay, nuts! Diba? Ang dami nagtatanong sa akin, Doktora, how about nuts? Yeah. So the problem with nuts is there's this contamination with the fungi. Okay, it's called aflatoxin. So the aflatoxin, and it's especially in peanuts, okay, they can cause liver cancer. One of the most dangerous cancer in the world, liver cancer. You can get it from contamination, eating peanuts or nuts that are contaminated with fungi or aflatoxin, okay? And some of us, we are allergic. Okay, so if you're allergic to peanuts or nuts or whatever types of nuts, it's better not to eat it. Okay? So, particularly, how about oatmeals? Ayan, di ba? Ang dami nagtatanong, oatmeal, sweet bread, ayan, di ba? How about them, Doktora? Okay, now the problem with them is they are highly inflammatory. Okay, so usually yung mga patient or yung mga followers natin, if they eat it, they cause inflammation in the body. Okay, now inflammation is one of our worst enemies. Kasi if you have a lot of inflammation in the body, guess what will happen to you? Okay, it's associated with many illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, cancer. Oh, I have another. Yes, so say hello. Oh, she just woke up. Yeah, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say to the followers? Yan, it's so early in the morning. Oh, Gabby, Henry, how was your sleep? Did you dream about Mama? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go to yogurt and kefir. O, diba? May nagtatanong yogurt and kefir. Okay, diba? Diba, Doktora, dairy yun? Diba? Okay. I have read in one of the literatures last time, and it says that actually they're not only good for cancer, and the lactose there, it's converted already to lactic acid. So, okay yan, let's go. So you can eat yogurt, you can eat kefir or fermented foods. They're good for us because they supply our body with bacteria, with friendly bacteria. We are actually made up of bacteria. More on bacteria. Our body is more on bacteria. Yeah, rather than cells. Okay, diba yung mouth natin? You heard it several times that our mouth is very, very dirty. Diba sabi nila, it's very dirty. Actually, it's not really very dirty. It means there's a lot of bacteria in the mouth. And it's there for a reason. Okay? Probably next time, I will discuss it to you. Bakit maraming bacteria yung ating mouth? How come our mouth is full of bacteria? There's very many reasons why it has to have a lot of bacteria. Friendly bacteria, of course. Pati yung ating gut, it has to have a lot of friendly bacteria. And they're there to help us. There's so many good reasons. Like, I will tell you right now, If you're going to eat green leafy vegetables, they are made up of nitrates, nitrogen. Now, it has to be converted to nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide, it's actually anti-cancer. It's not only anti-cancer, it causes vasodilatation for your heart. And you cannot take in nitrates, okay? The only reason why you can take nitrates is if your bacteria converts it to nitrite. And from nitrite, when you eat it, in your stomach, it is converted to nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is anti-cancer. Okay, so those of you who are listening, hi Antara, for those of you who are listening, you might want to research on nitric oxide. Okay, that's the one that I'm researching right now. It's actually very interesting. One of the best articles that I have read in my life, nitric oxide. Okay, so probably that's one of the frontier. Kung sakasakali, it's gonna be a frontier in cancer treatment. Hopefully. So how about fishes? Okay, so fishes is, yes, they do not know how to speak Tagalog. Do you know how to speak Tagalog, Henry? Gabi? Can you say maganda? Henry, can you say maganda? Oh, they know. Okay. So when you talk about fishes, okay, there's no farm fish. Okay. So ano ba yung farm fish? Tilapia. Okay. Tilapia. Bangus. Majority right now, they are bangus, right? Diba? Bangus. What else? So marami yan. So if they are salmon, diba? So they will tell you, these are good for you. You know, salmon is good for you. Yes, it is good for us. Unfortunately, it's not good for us anymore because of what we did to them, what we feed them. So it has become one of the worst food that we as a people would eat, farmed fishes. Okay, so they are attributed with cancer as well and with a lot of degenerative diseases. So how about butter? Diba? If you wanna do cooking, diba? Especially as Filipinos, you know, as Filipinos, we love to fry. Diba? We love to fry. All of our food, it's all fried. So what is the best for us? Okay, frying. Okay, frying is not good because it can lead to oxidation. So if you eat oxidized food, no. If you eat oxidized food, it goes into your system and it can cause heart attack. Okay, so that's why it's very bad for us to eat foods that are fried. But we can eat siguro mga once in a while lang. And if you choose to fry, especially me, I love to fry, you use butter and virgin coconut oil. Okay, because they are saturated fat. So they are very stable sila. So stable on heating. Okay, so pagka hinit mo sila, hindi sila masyadong na-oxidize. Unlike your unsaturated fatty acids, who are these? What are these? These are corn oil, diba? So you have your soya oil. So these are all the unsaturated fatty acid. How about olive oil? Diba? Oh, doktora, magandang olive oil, right? Olive oil is actually good for us, but you cannot cook them. And the problem with them is that if you expose them to air, okay, pag na-expose na siya sa air, it's already oxidized. Panis na, stale. It's stale already. And if you eat foods that are stale, okay, you will have a lot of problems.